and then I'm gonna hammer this bar into place. I'm gonna force it. My dudes, my guys, my freaking boys, we're back at it again. Day two of this roll cage install. Today's gonna be a really short day. It's already like 4 o'clock or something like that. I had some other stuff I had to get done. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld the joints from the halo to the main hoop and the halo to the A-pillars. And if I can weld all the way around them, maybe I'll weld the door bars in because I won't have to drop the cage down. So that'd be really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and start messing with that now. So we got all of our joints up top welded all the way around, as you can see. Everything's all welded. So I guess we're not gonna have to drop the cage down, which is huge. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to weld these door bars in, and probably gonna have to do a little bit of finagling for that, because like how I was telling you guys before, some of these backs right here don't really, you can see there's a pretty big gap. Some of those don't really line up. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I will tie a ratchet strap from here. Like I'll weld all the fronts first. I'll tie a ratchet strap from here and pull it to the front of the cage after I get the fronts welded. All right, so we got all of these joints welded all the way around. All the fronts are welded. These are still loose in here. Those are all pretty tight, but all those are still loose. What we're gonna do now is I'm going to cut all of these tacks here and pull I'm gonna hook a ratchet strap from this side and hook it up over there and pull this way to pull these edges in here, because you can see the gap that's there. So if I do that, it'll pull it in and it'll be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. If that didn't work, then I will I'll cut the tacks on the bottom and then pull this out. So we should be good. I have faith. All right, I'm gonna throw you guys on the head cam real quick and show you what exactly I'm doing, so you guys can see how scary this is. Probably hook that up here. I realized that if I hooked it there, the bottoms aren't welded, so it wouldn't work. So I'm hooking it to the body instead. But same thing, same concept. Let's go ahead and take this, get it tight. You can see how tight it is. And then put some gloves on. This one might not make a big noise. There it is. So it's snapped into place now. So then I'm just taking that and then tack welding that, and then I'll go back and re-weld everything after I get everything in place. All right, so basically everything that's in the car now, except for the where the tubes meet the floor or the rocker boxes, everything's welded. Went ahead and welded all of these guys, welded all there, welded all down through here. So everything's welded. That side's welded also. I guess tomorrow I have some other stuff I gotta weld that's not with this. But I'm gonna have the guy that I'm building this for, I'm gonna have him come by, and we're gonna set his seat in here and get the height that he wants his seat figured out, and then I can mark it so I can do the harness bar, and then I gotta do a lower bar, and then a cross bar, and then the down bars, and then this dash bar. So if I can get all this other stuff that I need to get done over there done tomorrow, all the smaller projects, and I get those done in a reasonable amount of time, what I'll do is I'll throw this dash bar in. And then there's another bar where we have this one right here. It comes down like this and follows down. So I'll put those two in, and then I might be able to start on the back bars, the down bars. And then all I really have to do is just his seat stuff. And then weld, of course, weld these in and stuff like that. But I have an idea for these. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the tacks, and in theory, I should be able to pull those out. because I still need to clean like along the rocker panels and the floor and stuff, so I have something to weld, like clean metal to weld to. So what I'm gonna do is cut the tabs, pull those out, clean all that stuff, and then I'll be able to do that. So I mean, realistically, I think we only have another like day or two on this thing and it should be done. So what's up, guys? Back at again, day 3. Yesterday was like a half day. Today's gonna be like a half day or a little less than a half day. I have some other work I need to get done. I just turned I got like a little propane heater that I heat the garage up with right there. So I just had that running, and while I had that running, I went ahead and put the dash bar in. Now these dash bars, I like to put them as close as I can to this for these kinds of cars, because I like to weld along here just to give it like a little bit more support. It ties into the body, helps the steering not jiggle around as much, because these dirt tracks are not smooth at all. And it was out a little bit far, so I ran a ratchet strap on it, and it pulled this side in like way too far. So what I'm gonna have to do is I took my pry bar that's right there and put it over there, and I can like move it over. So what I'll do is I'll get this bar welded in, and then we'll kind of have to like move the cage around in the front. But I still need to take out these rocker boxes and clean the floors and stuff like that. So, but I wanted to get this in before I take all that stuff out, because it'll just help hold everything together, or hopefully help it make it easier to get those back in, because I feel like they're gonna be a pain to get back in. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this in, and then take those boxes out and start cleaning the floor. All right, so we got that front bar welded in, as you can see. We got the floors marked. You can see all the red Sharpie right there. So we got the rockers taken out. Now we got to clean all the paint off the floor so we can get a good weld on it. The trick with this is, from what I noticed, a lot of people like to use flap discs, these things, but this eats too much metal. So the life hack with that is to use wire wheels. So I'm going to be using this drill, and then the one that's up here on this grinder, and I'm going to use that to get all the paint off on the areas that I want to weld. I'll probably end up taking the seam sealer. You can see there's like seam sealer like right here. I'll probably end up trying to get some of that off to be able to hopefully get the box tube closer to the rocker. So yeah, gonna go ahead and clean that now. All right, so we got our patches on the floor. You can see they're nice and shiny. That's where I want it to weld to. So we can go ahead and slap those rocker boxes back in, and then get the welding, I guess. All right, so we got this stuff majority welded in, as you can see. Now I got to do the floor. You can see how much of a gap there is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a jack under the floorboard and push up in every single area I want to weld, and that'll push the floor up, because these floors are made of like actual nothing. So it'll push the floor up, and then I'll be able to weld, get a good weld right in there, so that gap won't be there. So, all right, so have the rocker boxes welded in. As you can see, they're spot welded all the way around. Now what I'm gonna do, since the cage is moved around like a little bit, just from like pulling and all that stuff, I'm gonna center the cage, and then I'm gonna weld it to the rocker boxes, and then this will be like permanent. This is where it's gonna live. Then we can start doing everything else. I had Cody come by yesterday, and we marked where the harness bar needs to be. So now I can go ahead and finish the rest of the cage. I have everything I need now, so gonna get knocking out on that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take some measurements. It's like 1.5 inches. It's like 1 3/4, and then we'll go around to the other side and see where this one's sitting at. You gotta remember there's seam weld in there, so yeah, the cage definitely needs to go that way 1/4 inch, and it's pretty close this way. If anything, this back needs to come a little bit, so we need to pull that side 1/4 inch. So I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All right, so we got this little contraption set up here. Now I just got a ratchet. You can see even when I pull up on it, it's moving, so should be good. Where's it looking like on that side? Let's take a measurement and see where we're at. We're still about where we were. All right, let's pull it. Go over here on this side. Quarter, we still need to go a little bit more. I might have to move that strap down below that point. Let's try that real quick. All right, we got it matching on both sides. So now we can go ahead and weld it. You can see right there is where it was tack welded at. So moved it over 1/4 of an inch right where it needs to be. We'll go ahead and tack it and then work our way around doing the same thing. All right, so just got everything fully welded in. It's another short day today, unfortunately. I just had other customers come by, I had to get other stuff done and stuff like that. So we didn't get as much done today as I would like, but I had other stuff to do. But tomorrow we're gonna hit it hard and add a ton of bars in this thing. Luckily now that everything's all welded in, the main structure part, everything now is like a single tube, like little stuff. It's not like anything super crazy, hopefully. But yeah, you can see we got everything all welded in. All the corners are all welded. So we are good to go. I will catch back up with y'all tomorrow. And yeah, we're gonna add a lot of bars tomorrow, hopefully. That's the goal. Thanks. All right, guys, it's the next day that I'm working on this thing. I went ahead and got the harness bar in. You can see where we marked it when we put Cody in the car and made sure all the belts are gonna be level. I think they wanted this bar mounted down here. We're not gonna do that. You want the bar mounted so that if he gets in a crash, it doesn't yank down on him, and then you don't want it up too high because then he can fly up. So it all dictates this. All right, how we got that out of the way. So we have the two bars, the two tubes that we can add in. So this one goes here like that, and as you can see, there's a gap right there. So we're gonna have to notch that down. That'll bring it down a little bit on our angle, right? But that kind of fits how I want it. The issue, this is the tube that they gave us for the bottom part. You can see our issue. So I'm gonna have to raise this bottom bar up a bunch more than what I would like, but it'll still work. It's just up a lot higher than I would like it to be. I normally like doing a harness bar. Clearly your harness bar dictates everything, because this is the most important bar in the car, in my opinion, this one right here. I mean, other than the main hoop, I guess, but this is what holds your seat belt. So I build everything off of this. So I guess what we're gonna have to do is raise this up, because I'm not lowering this down, and we only have so much tube that we can use with it being a kit. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move that up. I'll get everything tack welded and show you guys, and then I'll go ahead and weld it. All right, so we got this bar tacked in. I used my angle finder on here to make sure this is at a 90, make sure this is at a 90. We can measure this, see what that's gonna be, and then we'll match it to this. Had to notch inside of here so that it'll fit up here like that. Something to think about is anytime you're like overlapping joints like that, make sure you weld in there first, because once it's in there, it's covered and you can't get to it. Let's go ahead and make a little tack here. Cool. All right, now what I'm gonna do is check my angle on here, and then I will do the same on the other side. That was weird that it stopped moving that fast. It's like 35. There's a couple degrees off. Let's see. I don't know why my thing's not working right. It's like acting silly when I do it the other way. So it might be like 2 degrees off, but that's not gonna matter for what we're doing. Yeah, I think it's a degree off. We can live with that. Everything's fitting pretty good and stuff. So now I'm gonna go ahead and weld all this in, and then we'll be good. All right, so we have all that welded in now. You can see we're all welded everywhere. Now we get to decide what to do next, and I think what I'll do is those down bars, and I have a specific way that I do that. All right, so one of the specific rules that they do have to follow in the specific class that this car is going to be running in is it has to have like a lot of factory stuff, but it's not allowed to have strut bars. So I'm not going to say to get around that rule, but to help help our structure not move, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut down through here on these braces here, and then we'll make plates and we'll run a tube from strut tower to strut tower, and then our down bars are gonna go from up here to down here. Now a lot of times in road racing and stuff that's illegal, because if the cage takes a hit it can fold. But I try to keep the down bars as close to the outside as I can, that way they're close to the plate so you don't have to worry about that. I think the reason that they do that in road racing cages, and I think drift might be the same way too, is because I feel like they don't want people like running their down bars like from the center and like right here, because then, you know, that will pull that in. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start messing with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these and get that all prepped up, then I'll check back in with y'all. All right, so have these 1/8 inch plates cut. I'm just gonna have to like bend them into place, and then you can see that this has a gap here. What I did is I left it super tight. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know if that's at the right angle or not. There you go. So I left, you can see there's a gap there. So what I'm gonna do is I want this to be really, really tight, because this is gonna hold the struts in place. And these things are like, this side's gonna be like digging crazy. So what I'm gonna do is get these plates welded in first, and then I'm gonna hammer this bar into place. I'm gonna force it to stay, so it'll live where I want it to live. I'm not gonna give it the option. I'm not gonna ask it. I'm going to force it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these plates welded in now, mark all this, clean all this stuff up, weld the plates in, and then I'll force this bar into place, and then we just gotta do the down bars. So I'm gonna get doing that. All right, so we got the down bars in the back. You can see they're fitted up on there real nice. This one was actually pretty cool. It's like a crazy, like 3 different tubes meet in all at the same spot right there. Just kind of cool looking. And then I went ahead and threw this front bar in right here. So it's all in and welded. So now all we gotta do is like all like the braces and like other little supports, and figure this stuff out and stuff like that, because this is the main part of the cage. I mean, we also have to mount the seat, so there's a couple other things done. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, and then we'll just do a part 3 for all the, I want to say smaller stuff, but it's more tedious stuff. I just don't want this video to be too long. So if you guys like it, like, subscribe, I appreciate it. If you watched all this, I super appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see y'all in the next one.